question is, what are the techno-political risks in this post-WikiLeaks world?
But it's a valid question. If we try and project forward, understanding what is happening now and what has happened in the past few years, can we see phenomenon that are developing that we need to stop or somehow direct in another direction? And the answer is yes. There's a severe dystopian phenomenon rapidly developing. Now, why is this any different to what has happened before? Okay, was the invention of the telegraph, the railroad, etc. There were plenty of people complaining about these phenomena, saying it would lead to social dislocation, would lead to war, and some of that was correct. What is different about what is happening now is that it is happening to the entire world at once. And that is happening because the entire world is being integrated by the internet. So as each society is merging with the internet, all societies are merging together into a global superstructure. If this global superstructure starts to go wrong, then it will affect everywhere all at once. And that can make it very hard to escape from it. Even in World War II, which is called a world war, actually not all the world was affected. So Europe was brutally affected. But other places in the world, yes, they had their interfaces with the European war, but largely managed to stay out of it. Even Bhutan now, which is a Central Asian republic, 20% of people in Bhutan are now on Facebook. So this phenomena that is, there's several different phenomena that are happening to the internet are sucking all the world along in the same trajectory. Okay, so what are they? First of all, there's an integration around the Silicon Valley companies, Google, Facebook, and integration between those companies and the traditional companies involved in US power like General Dynamics and Lockheed Martin.
Why, you've been here for 4 years now, so this is your 4th anniversary of your seclusion in this embassy. So why is that?
Well, you say 4th anniversary, it sounds like a cause for celebration.
I know.
I guess, being detained for 5.5 years without charge, in some ways it is a cause for celebration in the sense that WikiLeaks is still publishing and still expanding. And if you look at other media organizations, traditional media organizations, a lot of them are going under. So despite having the largest ever prosecution of a publisher by the United States operating against us for 5.5 years now, and a banking blockade involving Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Western Union, Diners Club, Discover, American Express, and Bank of America, we haven't fired any of our staff, and we're still going. So that, I guess, is some cause for celebration. Maybe also that Ecuador, as a state, a small state, has been able to resist enormous pressure from the US government and the British government over my situation. Now, okay, there's an impasse, so no one is winning this situation presently. It is at a standstill, but we can see the direction that things are going in as a result, for example, of the UN formally finding that I am being illegally detained. Now, coming up is the appeal of Chelsea Manning, my alleged co-conspirator, a young intelligence analyst in the United States who was sentenced to 35 years in prison. So that sentence is absolutely outrageous. The only accusation against her is that she was a source to the media, helping to expose war crimes and the true nature of US diplomacy. There's no allegation that she provided the Russians or Al-Qaeda with intelligence. The only allegation is that she provided information to the media, and yet has been sentenced to decades in prison And of course, they're trying to do the same thing to me and some of our other staff. So why is this happening now? Well, it's not just about me, it's not just about Chelsea Manning, it's not just about WikiLeaks. It's because the technological revolution of communications involving the internet, which has permitted many more groups to become publishers, many more individuals to become publishers, has challenged what traditional establishments have been using to maintain their power over many, many years. That includes geopolitical power, and it includes domestic electoral power. And so you're seeing that phenomenon play out in Spain since M15 onwards, Podemos and the other new parties. But you're also seeing it at an international level. And the crackdown on the freedom of publishing on the internet is happening now because so many people can so cheaply become publishers. So the game is in play for what are the new rules of communication, the new rules of publishing. Who can safely publish and who is not able to safely publish? Traditional publishers manage to gain exceptions versus the rest of the population, rights that they could publish under the basis that these rights didn't exist in practice for regular people, or in practice for smaller groups that were somehow perceived to be in competition with the establishment. But the internet has permitted these groups to now publish relatively cheaply. Eldiario is an example of exactly that phenomenon happening. And so those rights which were bestowed on publishers that had already been co-opted by the establishment, and those rights that were tolerated because of precisely that reason, are now under attack because non-establishment publishers are publishing. And WikiLeaks has specialized in trying to widen this envelope about what can be published by taking on the hardest cases in the world of publishing, and which at the present moment is about the deep secrets of the American intelligence states and those connected to it, because that is simply the most dominant power in the world, so its ability to suppress that information is greatest.